Alright, guys. We are back with a banging series. We've got Maru in the top right side. This is the TSL final day of games. This is like a quarterfinal match between him, Kaiser Gaming's Reynor. It's a best-of-5 match. Reynor, the guy that dominates Maru in the early game pretty regularly. But by golly, does he struggle in the late game? Serral often makes Maru look like it's very difficult to take him down in the late game. You know, Serral just looks like a god there, but Reynor, it feels like he's running into a wall when it hits a certain stage in the game, and I think that gives Maru a lot of confidence. I believe he has a roughly 2-to-1 win rate versus Reynor going into this tournament, and that's pretty huge. There's, I don't know if anyone, I think Maru is probably the only nemesis of Reynor, the only player that has like a very favored win rate versus him. I don't know if there's anyone else who's ever been like that. Serral, when Reynor was coming up, definitely did, and I think he still has an favored head-to-head against him. It's funny because there's definitely streaks where in their biggest matchups, it feels like Serral lets advantages slip away and Reynor makes comebacks versus him, and that does throw people off. They think, oh, no, Reynor always beats Serral. He always gets the better of him, and it's actually not the case when you look at their stats. And with Maru, yes, there's been a few times Reynor stomped him. There's been a lot more times that Maru just outclassed him in late game. Now, these 4 lings come in. They don't find anything. Pops in, pops out. Very nice micro by Maru. He's got a Widow Mine after that. Hellion, the Marines. These Zerglings do not have ling speed. They have to split up. And hey, he gets a hit off. Not bad. Almost a second one. Maru will hunt down at least a couple of these. Third hatchery goes down at the front. Creep starting to spread forwards. Ling speed is, of course, about halfway complete. Another Zergling will go down. So 2 Zergling kills, not too bad, but that does buy time for the other 2 Zerglings to get out of there. Medevac's on the way, so it will be a Widow Mine Marine drop. So I think it'll be 5 Marines in a Widow Mine, and then you'll start making Hellions behind this. Do we see battlecruiser behind this? Because he used to love battlecruiser, but he also started doing it off 3 command center. I don't think he'll go battlecruiser from here. I don't know why. I'm not sure what he'll do on Waterfall. Waterfall's a really interesting map because even though it's a short rush distance, there's big wide open areas, so Zerg really like engaging on it, and it feels like the Terran should always mine out and just not have enough bases to take, or the Zerg, sorry, should not have enough bases to take and run out of resources. Never gets there. The Zerg always seems to be able to deny the 5th base from the Terran, and I'm yet to see a game where the Terran is able to just drag it out in the long game. Raven on the way. Ooh, okay, Maru definitely favoring Raven in recent weeks. Oh, Ling's gonna go for a surround. Bit of a gamble there for Reynor, hoping to catch Maru not looking. Gets punished, loses a few Lings for it. And Queen gonna get some damage on the medevac. Widow Mine comes on in. Oh, that's a very good burrow, that is. And Reynor, oh my god! Did not spread the Zerglings. 10 Zerglings go down to that Widow Mine. 5 Hellions on the front. He's just lost a lot of Lings. He's got 6 Queens with 8 more. So 6 Queens with 2 more on the way, sorry. He's got 8 Zerglings coming out, but it's not enough to really stop these Zerglings. He doesn't have an Overlord on this left side either, so Reynor's Overlord positioning, leaving something to be desired here. That Overlord, oh, good transfuse to save it, but nice Marine micro. Oh, he loses 2 Marines though, a little sloppy. Nice Evo Chamber block on this 3rd. He did that to stop the Hellions running in. So they are pushed back. There's no 3rd command center. Wait, this is a Raven to clear creep for a 2-base all-in? Oh my god, he's going 5 racks. Wow, he's going to go for a bio tank 2-base all-in. This is exactly what Reynor struggled against with Bunny in GSL. Bunny kept doing 2-base all-ins, and Reynor was really struggling with how he engaged versus it. This time around, he is going double Evo Chamber, and that is bad against this. Now, obviously, double upgrades can be good versus a 2-base all-in. The problem is, if you're going double upgrades, you're delaying your lair. If you're delaying your lair, that means you're delaying your Baneling Nest until about 8 minutes, maybe later. And defending a 2-base bio tank without having speed banes is so hard. Reynor will have to backstab as much as possible. He'll have to go for giant Ling surrounds rather than relying on the Banelings connecting, because they're not going to be able to until Bane speed's done. He doesn't have a Bane speed started yet. Lair's on the way. He needs to start it right now. It does go down just in time. It'll finish right with the Lair. Perfect timing. Reynor's doing a good job of respreading creep on the left, taking a 4th. But once again, same problem he had versus Bunny and a lot of other players. He doesn't scout. He's on 61 drones and he's still droning. He's already over-droned. The Raven may be very low here, but Reynor, he's not scouting. His Overlord is not going in. He doesn't have Lings going up to check to see, wait, that's clearly a 2-base all-in building up. Where's the 3rd command center? Reynor right now is on autopilot. He's building another 2 drones up to 64. That's way too many. Reynor is a beast of macro. He might still be able to find a way to win. He sees the push coming. And remember, guys, Shields is only just started. And 1-1 is already almost finished. Auto turrets go down. A couple of Hellions get surrounded, but that auto turret doesn't really find anything. Good trade here for Reynor. One queen off creep on the right side could get isolated. The Raven very heavily damaged. No units coming into repair. Oh, the queens are caught off creep. This is not good for Reynor. Okay, he gets one queen out. Another queen does almost go down. Transfuses are landing though. Tanks coming on forward. Another queen comes from the right side. Reynor needs a lot more lings. Bane speed only just started up. As we said, that's a big problem. 25 seconds till 1-1 starts. He's got to cut off the reinforce. We talked about this earlier, but his banelings are only now morphing. Maru's heavily damaged. His marines are heavily damaged from the stim, but the lings clean up the rally. That's a problem for Maru. These banelings are slow banelings, though. They will not connect. This tank is going to be devastating. Queen's on the left side trying to hold the line. The lings trying to come in from behind. The lings and banes coming in from every which way. The banelings try to do a spready. He does force the pickup, but there's not enough lings on the backside to clean up the tanks. Maru with a decisive push up the guts of Reynor. Reynor should have given up this base, moved those drones to the fore. He had to buy time and buy time for Bane speed. And as we said, going double Evo here, not good against the 2-base push. And Reynor, what a lot of people were calling a freak accident, now starting to look like an Achilles heel. These 2-base pushes really getting the better of him. All right, guys, let's go. We've got Kaisi Gaming's Reynor in the left side of the map going for hatchery first. He's going to have to scout pretty well. I think he was taking for granted that he could get away with the double Evo chamber build because this man, Maru from Onside Gaming, he's infamous for just playing greedy macro builds, 3 command centers into battlecruisers. I was saying, hey, off that opening, the Widowmine drop, the Hellions, he likes to go battlecruiser mech behind that a lot of the time, and you know, or into just some big bio macro play, bio tank, that sort of thing. Maru switched it up and said, hey, I'm going to start the series at a completely different pace. And I think this is a great way to throw Reynor off his game. Reynor now has to worry a little bit more about what's going to be coming out, and that is going to be a reactor first. Into command center. Doesn't, I mean, if it was someone else, I'd immediately be thinking about like a 3-racks or a 2-1-1. Actually, I think it's a 2-1-1. I don't know. Reactor first feels like 2-1-1 to me. No. If it was doing 2-1-1, oh no, yeah, you always have to build the depot with a reactor first, because you start putting 2 marines at a time and you get supply blocked otherwise. So he could still go 2-1-1. He's about to hit 150 minerals and 100 gas. Is it a factory? It's a factory. Okay. The reason we know it's a factory is because he was heading there, and that's easily scouted. He doesn't care about a factory being scouted, but if he's going a second barracks, that is the 2 barracks, 1 factory, 1 starport, he would hide it over here so that it couldn't be scouted by an overlord easily. Now, of course, Maru is not scouting at all. If he was getting, say, hit by 1 base Ravager, could he defend it? I think he could, because he's building Marines nonstop. He'd be able to just run back with his Marines, pull SCVs, and defend with a mixture of 6 Marines and 10 SCVs being pulled. So, because the reactor first actually defends a lot of like 1 base all-ins. Now, maybe if it was like a 1 base Bane bust, that'd be a different story, because it would like they could like run in and surround his Marines before he gets back to the high ground. But it's been a long time since anyone did either of those builds, so Maru's not really worried about it. 4 Marines easy beats 4 Zerglings. Good fight for him. Gets 1, gets 2 of Reynor's Zerglings. Reynor, he's pulled off gas completely, so not leaving anyone on gas. That's interesting. Building an extra overlord. He's also got this overlord floating into the back that's going to try to come in and scout what the follow-up is. Going starport before 3rd command center is Maru, and he's actually sending the Marines forward on the map. Very cute. This pushes back any overlords. It means Reynor has to be a little bit more cautious with where those overlords are sitting. You don't want to give any free damage away here. And he knows that the Zergs leave their ling speed so late. That's why Terrans are confident doing this these days. It's also because the Hellions arrive soon after as well. So even if the lings do jump on top, you don't really want to fight Hellions off creep. Widowmine's coming out 2 at a time. Looks like it will be a 4 Widowmine drop. I always feel that's a bit of a twitchy build order. It can go good. It can also do literally nothing. So it's not my favorite. He's even getting the armory for it, really. I don't know, man. I think this is a build that's going to fall under the category of a nonsense opening. I've told you guys many times in my casts that, you know, Reynor talked about how Maru's openings are just nonsense a lot of the time. He does these really weird, unique openings, and I mean, you can see he's kind of looking to catch his opponent off guard and surprise them. I just don't see this doing anything. I mean, he just builds spores, spreads his drones. Unless Reynor fumbles, you've delayed your 3rd command center so long. And he's actually going to do a 2-base Marine tank push again. What? What the hell? Okay, so he's like, okay, slightly different opening, but still just going to do a big 2-base all-in. The problem for him is Reynor comes in and sees extra barracks building. So he might be able to read that it's a 2-base all-in from that. I think Maru did see the Overlord, though, so he's pulling the Marines back. Widowmine drop comes in the south side. I don't think Reynor saw this. Reynor has a gap in his vision. Sloppy, guys. Reynor is not watching. We're on Reynor's camera. Oh, he instantly jumps there, pulls the drones away. This is Reynor's camera. He tries to build a spore to set that Widow Mine off. Now he sees the red light above those Widow Mines, guys. Let's go back to everyone's camera. It looks like just one drone died there. Oh no! Reynor! Oh, he's so lucky. He's so lucky that they did not target the big clump of drones. 5 workers goes down. It could have been a lot worse. Reynor, though, this would have been so much easier if he had an Overlord properly in position on the bottom right. So a little bit sloppy with his Overlords. I've noticed this lately in Reynor's play. I don't know if it's because he's been playing so much Protoss or what, you know, whatever the excuse is, but it's just not as tight as it could be. This Widowmine could come back in and do some damage. Very adorable there. Widowmine tries to come back in. Oh, Reynor! He's distracted. Widowmine's come back in on the front. Watch out, buddy. Okay, one drone, a couple Zerglings go down, and that Widowmine comes in and gets a whole pack! He's up to 13 drones, oh no! Reynor off to a disastrous start. Maru, I take back everything I said. I really don't, actually, guys. I'm joking, I don't. I really don't think this should have done this much damage, and I really feel against Reynor, this is the sort of build that is such a low percentage chance of it working most of the time. Despite that, it worked, and you cannot hate on it that it works. I still, knowing what I knew going into it, would have said the exact same thing. That would have been my analysis. I stand by it. Turns out it worked out, though. Maru, he's got the special touch. He microed it fantastically. He's found a lot of damage. Reynor does not have a lot of scouting right now. He saw the extra barracks. He's stopping on 59 workers, and he's making Baneling speed and a lot of Zerglings. That's what's going well for him. It seems that he does realize this is going to be a big 2-base all-in this time. He knows that Maru is trying to finish him early. He's had a rough start, but with Baneling speed kicking in 25 seconds, a lot of Ling Bane massing up preemptively, I think he should be okay. Now, interestingly, Maru's going to push the right side. Reynor, he should backstab and re-expand to the top left. He's got good creep through the middle, so a rotation from Maru's army won't work. Look how quick Reynor is to make this decision. Beautiful play by him. He splits a big section of his army off for the run by, and those can easily come in and turn into a flanking force. This tank position is the most broken tank position in the entire map pool. You cannot break the tanks there without a terrible trade, unless you get, like, the sickest angle. Reynor, I don't know about this. He's gonna go for it. The Lings do get on the rear tank, and the Banelings come in. He does get on top of it. Maru a bit too far forward. And the Marines were not guarding the back tank. No Hellbats and no Marines guarding the back tank. If he had some Marines in the choke points, that's a very different story. But he loses both tanks. The front tank way too far forward. Maru feeling like he had to hit this with a lot of urgency. And I don't know if that was necessarily the case. Oh, the Queens, but wait, the Banelings, they get gunned down. Maru gunning them down at the last second. But the Queens are buying a lot of time. And here we go, Ling Bane! Oh, Ling Bane finds the rally. That's a disaster for Maru. He loses the new tank and a lot of these Marines. Maru's Marines stimming a lot. Luckily for him, there's a massive amount of medevac healing. Third command center is on the way. 5 barracks there. He's going to swap his factory into the reactor, realizing, look, too many tanks have died. I'm never going to get a good tank push going again in this game. I might as well go Widow Mines. I need the higher value unit. The unit with more mobility, more potential. The Marines snag yet another queen kill. That's 4 total queens. But he's had the oomph, the sharp bite taken out of his push. No longer is this a super scary Terran push. It is one which is more of a transition. He's got the 3rd CC. He's not that far down on workers. He's adding more barracks already. He's already going 8 barracks. He's got +2 weapons on the way and +1 armor versus only Carapace. So Reynor's actually behind on upgrades, but Reynor has a massive army advantage, and he could just go for an attack as Maru takes the 3rd base. Maru's doing... It's not really a double drop. It's about 10 Marines and 2 medevacs up here, guys. He's also got a double drop on the south, 14 Marines and 2 medevacs. So neither of those is a full 16 Marines, but that's important to try and pull Reynor's attention home and allow him to secure a 3rd. His tank is going to siege on the high ground. Very good positioning there. That Overlord barely gets away there. Overlord speed, a very good ability for Reynor in this situation. All those Marines are saved. Dives in on the south side. Queens are going to shoot that medevac. Maru. Ooh, the Queens with the transfuse. And one of those medevacs and a few Marines go down. Does save 8 of them into one of the medevac's 3rd base, morphing into an orbital. +2 armor starting as well. Reynor's upgrades suck. He's making a Spire right now, but he needs a 5th base. He's on 77, 80 workers. I mean, he's adding a lot of gases. He's only got 1 Evo. I think he should probably go straight to +2 carapace, but he needs a 2nd Evo for melee upgrades as well, or he's going to be miles behind. That being said, his creep is just disgusting. He's got spores on the top, which do at least zone this drop into this little corner. Queens on the low ground can start to hit the medevacs as well. Maru doesn't want to hang around. He's just going to pull back. He's clearing a lot of creep in the middle. He's also got some Widow Mines, so if Reynor's not careful, he will stumble into those and take quite a bit of damage. Remember, there are extra... Oh, he added reactors, guys. He's got 4 tech labs. 1, 2, 3, 4 reactors. 4 tech labs, 4 reactors. Okay, no, it's a standard split here. About half Marine, half Marauder production. Of course, the Marauder production can swap to Ghost later. Melee and Carapace is on the way for Reynor. Reynor's definitely got the numbers advantage, but a few Widow Mines can change that. And remember, the upgrades are going to be in the lead for Maru in a few seconds. I think Maru still needs to bide his time for a little while. It does feel like a 3-base all-in, though. No 4th command center, no 2nd factory, so I guess he can't. He has to keep going. He has to force the fight soon. His 2-2's not quite ready. Reynor defusing most of those Widow Mines without taking a big hit. He does push Maru back, but Maru is up 30 army supply. He's on 8 barracks pumping Marine Marauder. He's got the +2 attack. Drop in the top left, going to try and distract Reynor, pull him back. Reynor's still on 12 queens, and he's actually adding mutas here, which is going to mean these sort of drops, they only have limited play. Lingbane should defend the hatchery in the south. The Marauders don't pick up, but Reynor pulls the Banelings back, does not let them blow their load in an inefficient situation. We've got a new Spore Crawler and some Lings there. That previous drop angle will not work. And with 10 mutas coming out as well, Reynor, if he can defend this 5th base on the right side, he's at 99 workers. Oh my god, his army is down 25 army supply, and right now he's on +1 armor versus 2-1 Terran. The Marauders are a very real problem for him. I don't know if he can hold on to this base. He doesn't have the 5th on the left, though. If he loses this base, his 99 workers is worth nothing. Oh my god, has Reynor been too greedy? I think he might have. This is a big 3-base all-in from Maru, but it is absolutely smashing. A Muta does drag a Widow Mine into the Medevac Marauder, but the Marauders are just unbreakable. +2 armor Marauders. They have 3 armor. The Zerglings are +0. They were doing 2 damage a hit. It was taking 60 hits to kill a single Marauder. The Mutas have no attack either. The upgrades and the Marauders, meaning this is a devastating situation for Reynor to find himself in. Oh my lord. He may have got his economy back in shape, but economy alone is not enough, and Maru is showing why. Pushing with the 8 racks, mass Marine, 3-3 on the way. He's even got a 4th command center coming up behind it, so he does have a transition. He says, I've got so much damage, I'm actually going to move away from this big it all in and actually start to do something else, but he's just smashing through. I'll tell you what, upgrades are important, but also Marauder Medevac versus Lingbane with Widow Mines and Marines back. That was always rough for the Lingbane. You hit that with a double upgrade advantage, and it becomes devastating for the Zerg. All right, guys, going into game 3, and he is on a roll right now, dude. The commitment to the Marauders so early was legendary. The upgrade advantage, the transition out of his push, absolutely fantastic. After those first tanks went down, it looked rough, but Maru found a way to make it work. And Reynor, after that Widow Mine damage, he was defending in a bare bones situation. 59 workers, only 1 Evo chamber going. And even though he bounced back economically, he did take it too far. So I really think Reynor should have been doing more backstabs and staying much heavier on the Zerglings and the Banelings. Not as heavy on the Banes, but basically anything he could do to buy time. I also think Reynor should have been clearing up the left side of that last map so he could secure a 5th base, and that would have allowed him to give up the right side. I think time was what he needed, because if he could get his +1 melee and then get his +2 carapace, and like, you know, the upgrade differential was going to get less bad over time. Also, in general, Lingbane is just better at fighting Terran in multiple areas at once where they can't micro correctly. Maru was setting up his Marauders up front, Marines and Widow Mines spread behind it. I'll tell you, Lingbane, man, doesn't do that well there, does it? Here we go, Link Speed's on the way as well. Okay, Queen's coming on out. Looks like a pretty chill opening so far. Starport coming down very early again. So Maru hasn't really done any 3 command center builds. That's interesting. I think Maru has realized that if I give Reynor space to do his normal thing, it's just not, like, it's not fun. Reynor gets too much creep and too far ahead. So Maru's decided, hey, get some aggression going. Follow up with the big 2-base aggro. I mean, Beyond's been slaying Zerg players with this for the last few months as well. So makes sense to see Maru doing it. I remember when I was looking at this map pool and I was like, oh, there's some really good tank positions like here and here. And then the thing is, I talk about tank positions every time I'm looking at a new map pool, and it never becomes that important because there's just not that many 2-base all-ins. And this is the one map pool season where I mention them and I kind of downplay it. Probably not that important, but you know, it could be good. And then every TVZ has been 2-base pushes, especially the command center first that like Bunny was doing into 2-base push. People are abusing these tank spots and ledges really well. The Terrans have shown some very, very clever positioning. Hey, here is Zergling. Oh, he got like 35 hit points of damage. Not bad. I'm good at numbers, guys. That's 35, right? Shh. Okay, gets the Overlord on the pillar. Very nice. Pervert pillar goes down. Raynor's got to pull these Overlords back. Otherwise, he's just giving away free damage. A little bit slow on that from Reynor. Yeah, it's going to go down. Unless his queens get forward real quick. Maru should change angles for that. Yeah. Well, Medevac does take a few hits at least. Lings are going to come forward. Oh, Widowmine goes to the Overlord and gets a few Lings with the splash. And saves the Widowmine. Oh, that's a nice workers kill tab. Or units kill tab. 2 Overlords, 4 Zerglings for nothing. And instantly into 3 barracks. I mean, it's the exact same thing. He's just doing it again. Now, I mean, how many times can you throw the same thing at your opponent and make it work? Now, you got to go back to 2018. Rogue versus Maru. Maru, every single game, did a 2-1-1 into a double tank drop push with combat shields. Every single game. And sometimes when the Zergs can't stop it, Maru kind of just shrugs his shoulders and says, I'm going to keep doing it till they stop it. And this is like basically the same build from game 1, guys. There's a slight difference in game 2 with the Widowmines. Yes, there was, but it went into the same sort of push. Now the Zergling sees it immediately. He's got a really quick lair finishing Baneling Nest. I think he's in a great position to stop this, is Reynor right now. So I wonder if he takes the bottom right 4th base. This 4th is actually very hard for the Terran to push as well. So usually the Zerg would take this one on the left. For now, it feels like I think Reynor's going to stop droning at 60, maybe high 50s, and just try to get enough units out. One way he could do it is not build a single more drone, and then when the army gets halfway across, Bane bust the wall and actually really screw him up, and that's going to force Maru to try to push in on the front. But if you have enough units on the front and a bit of a Bane bust on the counter, you could definitely get yourself way ahead. And he's stopping at just 56 drones, so yeah, he's really looking to clean up the first fight. 1 gas, 2 gas, 3 gases only. 3 gases, 3 mineral lines. It's going to be an abundance of Zerglings, Banelings, and Queens. 9 Queens are out with 3 more on the way. He does go for the 4th base in the bottom right. I like it, especially if this creep spreads beyond there. He could get this really far out. You could see this lovely setup of the 2 Queens for Reynor. Maru, he's going to move out any moment now. Tank can't fit through there. He needs to lower that depot, I think. I don't think a tank can fit through there. If he tries to move out and his tank gets stuck, okay, he does realize, I'm like, dude, don't you dare leave your tanks at home. Never mind, it can go through there anyway, guys. Pigs imagining things once again. Do we see add-ons on the 4th and 5th barracks, or does he just use them for continued marine production? Looks like right now Maru's skipping a little bit of marine production. He does need to keep that up. Ooh, he's a little light on the production. Here comes that big Ling Bane counter attack I was talking about. Remember, he's got Baneling speed. He's making 13 Banelings at home as well. Mass, Queen, Ling, Bane setting up for the run by Maru. Sees it coming though. Reynor's kind of shown his hand a little bit. The Lings are like, screw it, I'm gonna just jump on top. Let's go. Banelings rolling into the Hellions and the Marines. The tank's getting surrounded there. Oh my god, Maru gets routed. He somehow saves one of those tanks. I can't believe he even pulled that off. The auto turrets do a good job there. 150 hit points and an armor. They do hold on for a little bit. Reynor, it's just 57 workers. His 4th base is up, but he needs to crush this army. The problem is he's not actually ahead on economy by very much. He's only now starting 1 Evo chamber. So he's in a similar situation to last game where if Maru just keeps pressure on without throwing his army away, it's going to be hard for Reynor to transition out of it, but oh god. Okay, Banelings on creep. Very scary there. A lot of Ling Bane getting ready for the run by Maru. Has very little to defend at home, and I do think Reynor could just run in there and absolutely wallop him. Depots are raised there, but they're not raised there. Maru! Oh no! He lets the Ling Bane in. Some Lings get on top of the tank. Doesn't have the most surface area there. And the Marines will actually defend the siege tank. Banelings get a few of the SCVs, but not as many as I would have thought. 1 more comes in! Oh, the tank does shoot it down, but it gets a bunch of SCVs as well. 41 SCVs to 66 drones. Reynor wisely just gives up this base. He's like, why would I fight there? Just take another base on the other side. And he should immediately retake this as well. Because you want to play Whack-A-Mole Zerg, and you also... He's gone 1 Evo again. I really wish he went double Evo, guys. I think it's a very important for him in this scenario. Behind it, Armory is on the way, as well as second engineering base. So, double upgrades, third command center morphing into an orbital. Maru's doing all that stuff. Raven and a double drop moving down the left side of the map. A Marine tank army moving back down the right side. Tank on the high ground will cover things. It's the yellow hit point tank, so definitely good to keep him in the safety, in the rear with the gear. Second Evo chamber out front in the third. So Reynor here. Guys, this is a really good Evo chamber placement. So if you guys want to lose your upgrades just before they finish at a crucial point in the game, do what Reynor's done and lazily pull drones off the oversaturated base to build them out front, one of your most exposed expansions. It's a really good idea. You guys should definitely try it at home. And yes, I'm being sarcastic. It's a terrible placement. Luckily, he's got good crease shred and map control. Hopefully, he doesn't lose those at some point, or he will be a little bit upset. But you can tell he just kind of is in a bit of a frantic situation, grabbing drones from wherever and throwing them down. The natural is a little oversaturated as well. You can see he's just started saturating these extra gases as he stayed very low on those earlier. Spores are in the main, though. Maru gonna have to turn around. You do not want to drop into that. Does he turn around to save him? Yeah, he'll go back once the spore's dead. So that's a good little trade for him. Picking off a couple of units. Gets a spore, not bad. He's got a drop on the right side that can keep denying this base as well. So Reynor's very committed to this expansion. 2-2 upgrades are on the way. This time Hydras are building rather than Mutas, and that's going to help a lot against the potential Marauder addition. Does Maru try the same thing? Oh, the Marines went a bit far forward there. Derped in, a few of them do die. There we go, guys. Tech labs. More tech labs and reactors coming in. What's interesting is it seems that Maru plays 2 tech labs, 3 reactors, and then he adds 2 tech labs and a reactor later. So rather than doing the 4 reactors, 1 tech lab at the start, he actually is adding 1 extra tech lab. He's trying to add this Marauder count in earlier. So just the same way he's added a bunch of Hellbats into his end game to become the god of late game, it seems like in the mid game he's decided getting that Marauder count earlier to have a tanky front line is the key to beating Ling Bane. Here we go. Marines trying to pull on backwards. Good spready from Maru, but the Banelings pulled back. Reynor didn't overcommit, and you can see the Hydras make it much harder for the Marauders to commit because he's not able to just get baited into the Marine Widow Mine as easily. The Groove Spines has not started though. The Hydras do not have the range upgrade, so they are outranged by these Marauders, but the Marauders a bit overstimmed, are taking some damage. Watch out for the Winter Mines. Not the biggest hits there by any means. Drop does pull back on the right side. A bit of Hydra Bane over there. Not many Zerglings with that though, so this is not a fully fledged army. Definitely want a bunch of Zerglings and more Hydras with that potentially. Just Banelings can get picked off very easily. Hydra Bane Queen on the right side. He's trying to push that creep further and further forward, but I think Reynor is very solid on 83 workers. His 2-2 upgrades are making. So even though it's 2-1 and there's an upgrade advantage, Maru does not have a push that he's able to push forward on the map. He's trying to just do the 2-pronged, the old school. Let's wear you down with Widowmine Bio on both sides, but Lings and Spores in the main. He's got a Spore there and another Spore deeper inside this base. Those Lings need to get underneath though. Maru says, nope, I don't want none of that. The Marines pulling back behind the Widow Mines. And, ooh, good micro here by Maru. But a couple of those, oh, all the Widow Mines get set off. Nice micro by Reynor. That spread was great. Clears up that whole situation. Unfortunately for him, his Overseer was a bit too far forward, so he leaves 1 Widow Mine behind, but Marauders going down in droves. This is a very big turnaround. Reynor, he's on 1-1 versus 2-2 upgrades. This is a big upgrade advantage for Maru, but upgrades don't matter if you don't have the army. That being said, the rally does come down from the top left, and he defends. Very nicely done. Maru also threatens on the other side, manages to snag a single queen, and his Raven survives all of that. Maru is getting his 4th base established. The single Zergling says, nah, you can't land here. The Raven says, I can see you, idiot. And does snipe him down. Biomine on the left side. Could stim on these queens. Maybe get a few of them. Queens, of course, very tanky with those transfuses, but you don't want to get too deep. Lurkaden's on the way. The Hive is now finished. It is going to be +2 Carapace finished. +2 Melee is almost done, but 3-3 is well underway. A couple of Vipers are on the way as well. Queens are still pushing back this army single-handedly. Still some Lings and Spores in the main. This base here could be a drop area or up on this ledge even. It's going to drop over to that right side. That does mean the Queens have kind of cornered him. On the right side, a big army coming in. The Ling Bane Hydra trying to trickle into this. They are pretty compact though. The Marauders way too packed tightly, and they take a lot of splash damage. The drop's going to move past into the natural, but Maru may be going a little bit too hard, too deep. He gets smashed by the Banelings on the side. The Planetary does defend on the left there. Kills a few of those SCVs. The drop in the natural, getting a bunch of drones. Where is Reynor's army? Maybe split a bit too far, and finally Maru finds a bit of value here. Gets a few of these drones. Not bad, not bad. Up to 14 workers killed this game. He's been losing way more SCVs than that himself, though. He's still got to get something done. He's trying to set up this angle, but this bottom right side is being defended so well by Reynor. He's got to get rid of that creep. Here we go. Tank on the high ground should defend these lings. How many SCVs can he take with him, though? You can see a bit of target fire, and the tank-friendly fire is actually very deadly to his own workers here. Very nicely done. Redrop in the back of the main. Plenty of spores that will intercept you on the way out, but a queen does go down. And he does see the lurker den. He's going to try and dodge the spores. Takes a few queen hits, but that spore is new. And there's another queen there that will take that drop down if he's not careful. Reynor target fires. No, he doesn't. The ling's coming back. The drone's there. Maru doing a lot to keep Reynor very busy, but it's only 62 workers, and that's the problem. I feel like Maru, if he was on 5 bases and teching to ghosts, I'd be like, oh, he's got this game in the bag because he's really keeping Reynor on the back foot. But you got to realize he's only managing to do that because he is committing so hard to it. The drop in the back is going to go down. That does get shot out of the sky. Ducks on the medevacs. You can't leave. And they do get dragged on in. This Widowmine could be big on the corner, though. Ooh, only gets a few Zerglings. Good spready there. Splits off those Zerglings that were being targeted. Does Reynor. Lurkers coming forward. They don't have any upgrades yet, but they're about to get the range upgrade. He focuses down one of the Lurkers, spreads back in a giant arc. Maru with some fantastic angling, but he's out of money, dude. He's so far down on supply. Reynor's been up on 90 workers on 5 base this whole time. Take a look at that income graph. It's all Reynor for the past 10 minutes straight, with highs as much as 1,500 minerals a minute more coming in for him. Remember, the 4th of Maru was very late. He doesn't have a 5th. Reynor's been on 5 bases for about 5 minutes, and his lurkers are now sieging through. The tank does have 13 range, the lurker only 10, but there's only 1 tank. He could literally just run in and siege in range of the tank, or abduct it. That works too. Ling Hydra lurker moving onto the base. Reynor's going to try and move in, but Maru, I don't think he can break this dude, even without adaptive talons. That is a big pack of lurkers, blinding clouds, lings and hydras, all making it so hard to bust through. He gets one of the lurkers, but there's still 8 more behind that, and the hydras are absolutely murdering. Reynor will not go out that easy. He will not let Maru win with 3 2-base pushes in a row. No, no. All right, guys, let's go. We got Kaisi Gaming's Reynor finally getting a point on the board. And suddenly the comeback seems a little bit more realistic. Winning 3 games in a row versus this man, though. I mean, that's the stuff of legends. That has not been done very often. It's Maru. And he's going command center first. So he's going to be going for a 17 command center on the low ground. Very nice way of doing it. I really enjoy this build order. I think command center first, very powerful. What's cool about it is you can delay your second depot for like 4 years, because this is essentially 2 depots in one. And because it's finishing so early, it just is so clean. That's why Nexus first, command center first are such good builds in Legacy of the Void. All right, we've got the barracks going down and the gas there right after the command center. It's a bit of a pause there. I've been getting very good at microing my mute button, so you guys just missed a vicious sneeze. It was one of those big whole body sneezes. If you guys have ever been around anyone who sneezes ridiculously loud, to the point where it sounds like, what are you doing? That's me. It's physically uncontrollable, and it's very embarrassing. It also is something where I'm pretty sure I'm going to kill myself. When I'm like in old age, I'm going to be too frail. If I keep sneezing this hard, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna like my body will break. I'll like snap a rib or something when I'm like 80 years old. So it's gonna be rough, but hopefully we can hold together to cast at least a few more StarCraft games till then. Feeling a little bit more geriatric these days in the gaming scene. If you're over 20 years old, you're an esports granddad or grandma. Double orbital going down. Ooh, very nice. Okay. So this is, of course, the double gas version where you go straight for Factory and Hellions. Just a single Marine. Now, Reynor's not going to know what he's up against, except... Or does he? Oh, guys, he's not building a single Zergling. Oh my god, Reynor is like, hey, this guy never builds a Reaper. Just, why would I build Zerglings? So his openings are clean, man. 3rd hatch at 2 minutes 30. This is with Ling speed on the way. And yeah, so even though he goes at quick Ling speed, he's actually just got a brilliant opening. He's already on 9 workers on the natural at 240. Oh, wow. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, Maru's just not opened with Reaper this entire series, so why would you be building Zerglings early on and putting yourself behind? 3rd command center already goes down. Oh my gosh. So with this build, you actually don't need a depot ever, right? Because this command center is another 15 supply. That'll put him up at 53 supply. So Maru's going to build his first depot now. He doesn't need that, right? Well, I guess Hellions do build really quickly. Okay, fair enough. For a second, I was like, wait, he could wait for this to finish. If he has like just a little bit of a gap in his Hellion production, if he just builds 2 Hellions and then just keeps building add-ons, he could wait for that and delay that depot. I mean, it's really dumb, but it would be kind of glorious at the same time. Let's see how long I can get away with just having 1 supply depot. Hellions coming on forwards. Ling speed's coming out. 4 Ling's going to go for a little backstab. The male Karak hanging out there on the map. Remember, there are Artosalopes and Karaks on this map, 2 of my favorite critters. And there's also doggos as well. Rufus! Hello, my name's Rufus. Ruff! Ruff, ruff. It just dawned on me that Rufus has rough in it. That, like, ruff, ruff, you know, like a dog bark. I'm an adult. Let's keep casting the game. He's going for extra barracks, but only after the 3rd command center, so it's definitely not the 2 base all in. Seeing the barracks go down now, though, it still seems kind of early for the barracks, right? It's actually earlier than in the previous games, but that's because he's not harassing. He's not building Hellions. So I don't know if Reynor realizes that there's a 3rd CC in the back. That's a really good denial with the Viking and the Marine. And we'll see just how good Reynor's understanding of Terran builds and game sense is. Oh, good focus fire by Maru. Gets the Zergling. Well done. I think if he A-moved... Oh, they probably would have just killed the Zergling because it was closer than the Queen. So probably didn't need to target fire, but... Viking here looking for more kills. Reynor's pulled his overlords back for the most part. And he's got a lair and a baneling nest on the way. He's building plenty of drones. He's got just 11 Zerglings out. The economy from Maru is absolutely out of this world. Wait. Oh, okay. I thought it was only 1 engineering bay, but he's got 1 in the wall, 1 behind the natural. No worries. He's going up to the 5 barracks. Starport's getting back on a reactor. Factory's building a reactor. And you know what that tells us? It's going to be bio-mine play for Maru. I think this is a spectacular way to play ZvT. Too many players have been ignoring it and playing straight siege tanks for too long, and that, I think, makes it a bit easier for the Zerg to deal with. Creep spreading very nicely for Reynor. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 active tumors, plus the 10th in the main base as well. So he's already got a lot of those creep tumors out. 10th Queen is going to be popping in the main. Lair will be finishing. We're going to see baneling speed immediately. Now, the thing is, does Reynor know about that 3rd CC? He does not. He's massing Lings off 59. He thinks he's being 2 base all in. Reynor with a misread, guys. He sends that Ling in on the top side. He needs to send 1 in on the bottom. This Ling is very important. It's going to tell him he's been tricked. And he goes, oh, crap. You've already got a 3rd down? Reynor, let's go to his camera and see how he reacts, guys. He sends another Ling into scout. He should be going double Evo. Oh, is he going to do a Bane speed timing? Oh, he's thinking aggressively. The way he's splitting his units, he's already thinking about being aggressive. He is going to go double Evo. And he does start a few drones here. But he's definitely thinking about doing a bust. He's already built so many units. So he's split his army into 2 squads. Double Evo's on the way. He's injecting. He's got a 4th base going up in the bottom. Extra gas is coming down. He's obviously not got the economic lead that he would like to have in this scenario. Ling Bane in the bottom right side, coming down to try and defend. He needs a few more Banelings. Ling's gonna run in though. Maru's not watching. Reynor goes in with that Ling backstab. The Hellions will come back to defend, but they are in. They kill a lot of Widow Mines and Marines. If you get in the main base, these Marines aren't doing anything at the same time. The SCVs, they pull into the pocket. Nice moves by Maru. The Zerglings do target fire a few of these SCVs. It looks like the ones in the main got cleaned up by an A move. And he only loses 2. He loses 2 SCVs, 2 Widow Mines, 4 Marines, and 32 Zerglings. What the hell, Maru? I think that's so many players would stim those Marines in and lose them to the Queens and the Lings and the Banes while microing at home. He wisely pulled those back, focused on keeping his SCVs alive. He pulled them into the pocket where the Lings couldn't attack them. The Lings that ran in the main, he A-moved with his SCVs. He reset his mining, and he just avoided what could have been an absolute disaster. But check this out. Maru feels like he has full vision on the bottom. These Lings sneak by. They could be a deadly Baneling run by. And indeed, he is morphing Banes there. Ling, Bane, Queen on the top side trying to defend. I like that he split some Banes into the Hellbats. He's got more Banes, but he's got to be careful. If they get gunned down, he's got nothing to help force this bio back. Oh, not a good situation for Reynor, losing all of his Banelings. But the bio is so wounded from Stim that it's all okay. Ooh, good spready on the Banelings, but even better spready from Maru there. Banelings roll in though, he's so busy on the front, and Reynor says, I may have taken some bad fights on the front, but that was to keep your camera locked over here and distracted, and he wipes out the whole mineral line. He says, 2 SCVs, how about you take 16 more to the face? Reynor with a massive swing there. He's up 30 workers right now. His upgrades are behind. His 1-1 is on the way. He's obviously trying to make those Hydra upgrades. He needs to keep doing things like this. Little backstab maneuvers are what's going to keep him in a good position. Because remember what I said from that earlier game on Data C. If you're behind on upgrades, you have to backstab and buy time. Keep the fighting on their side of the map. Don't let them choose to fight when they've got a double or a triple upgrade advantage. Go across, force them to micro on the back so they can't just punish you over here. Here we go. Nice usage of the Overseers. And does set off most of those. More Banelings are coming in with the Queens and the Hydras. That landed Viking finally falls. A medevac does go down. Good snipe there by Reynor. Reynor's going to try and just roll some Banelings in the front. That could work out. Right now, Maru, the medevac does fly back over it. He should deal with that pretty easily. Yeah, he's going to send those units, stim the Marines after them. But Reynor realizes it's spotted, pulls it back. This base is in trouble. But he's got a 5th on the north as well. His 1-1 upgrades are finished. Reynor does need to realize and start 2-2. He's building lots of Hydras. He's going to 15 Hydras plus 2 Carapace. Not quite enough gas to start the melee just yet, but no doubt it will be starting up in the near future. Queen, Ling, Bane, Hydra trying to hang on against these Widowmines. Hydra is very useful in this circumstance. Beautiful split on the Zerglings. The Marines, though, they do avoid most of the Banelings, start to get some damage. There's a drop on the north as well. Not many medevacs with it, so it can't pick up and leave. That is an issue. Reynor splitting his army in a big section on the bottom that's going to try and roll Maru. And only a small section on the top, which he's probably reinforcing with his rally. He's going to try and get on top of these Marines. Not quite able to do it, though. Maru, good job with his stutter step, just keeping Reynor backed up and in his corner. Behind this, though, remember, this is an 8 barracks attack. This is a huge timing attack from Maru. He doesn't have a 4th command center. He doesn't have a 2nd factory. Those are the 2 pieces of the puzzle that set up Terran for late game. Maru does not care. He is trying to win right here, right now. Push on the north, push on the south. He wants those Marauders in that front line. They tank very well. The angling's okay, though, and the Banelings don't mind hitting Marauders when they're that clumped up. Look out for the Widowmines, though. Reynor's going to stumble into these Widowmines. He does lose 1 Hydralist, takes out the Widowmine, though. The Marauders coming back in. They do get dropped on the south side. Marines versus Queens and Hydras is going to be a very close fight. A Baneling connects with just 2 of the Marines. Another Baneling does come forward. Maru forced to retreat on the south. And on the north, he does get evicted from there. He tries to redrop on the south. He gets a little bit of damage, but overall, he's bleeding out. And he goes to plan B. Remember, he was meant to break through here. He was meant to get big damage. Instead, he has to start a 4th command center on location. And Maru right now is clutching at straws. He's going to regroup everything on the south and try to make some magic happen. But the 2-2's on the way. The infestation pit started. Reynor taking gases on his 5th base. He's got a big pack of Lings getting ready to backstab. Plenty of units defending for him. So much Hydra, Ling, Bane, Groove, Spines is even starting. Reynor's remembering all the details, even in the midst of the chaos. And he is going to roll over this army with Banelings. The Lings are going to find the exposed command center. The 4th base that he needs so badly. Unable to get up. I think a Widowmine just killed about 12 Banelings on this south side, guys. So Maru did just get a sick Baneling hit. I don't know if it matters. There's so many Hydras, Zerglings, and Banelings. The 4th gets cancelled. The SCV line gets absolutely torn apart. Maru lifts his main, moves it down to the 4th. Problem for him is he's even gas starved right now. So Maru, he's going to lose gas mining in the main. He doesn't have gases up on his 3rd. He's actually going to be just building mostly Marines in the next minute or 2. Luckily, he already has 12 medevacs out. Does pick up on the south side, pulls back for now. Reynor, though, is up. Going towards the Hive and the Lurker Den. 87 workers. And he's up on, I believe it is 7 gas geysers right now. Looks like it. Does need to maybe take another gas geyser on this bottom base. Yeah, he's going to go for that right now. Extractor does go up. Army going to be split. Maru says split army is the way to make this work, man. Let's go back to 2020. Split bio, hitting both sides of the map. Innovation led the way. He showed how to do it. And I copied him. At least I think it was, I saw it from Innovation first anyway, so I'm claiming that Maru copied it from him. Maru might have learned it from Inno, who knows. But either way, the Widowmine does get a shot off. Nice pickups there. Maru gets a hatch snipe on the 6th. He's slowing him down. But yeah, the 2-pronged, multi-pronged, just bio-mine on both sides. So popular from 2020 onwards. When we started playing online due to the pandemic, that was when the Terrans started doing a lot more of this just mass macro bio-mine. They went from very timing attack-oriented style on LAN to, with the lag, preferring a bigger macro style of mass biomine Marauder and trying to multi-prong. Oh no! 3 medevacs go down. They fly through the Queens. Classic F2 for Maru. Uh-oh, Ling Bane coming in from behind. The Widowmines all get set off on individual Zerglings and oh, no, 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 no. Maru, not like this. The Drilly boys, oh, they're getting absolutely smashed. Acidic explosions all over their face. 2 SCVs, 3 SCVs, all that's left of that mineral line. 42 workers to 84. Raynor has all the money, all the guns. Well, maybe not guns, but claws, hydras, lurkers coming in soon. The lurker upgrades have started. It's 128 army supply for Maru, but he's got to get something done right here, right now, and he's going to have to pick up out of this one. Get out! Another medevac does fall, as well as one of the marauders getting left behind. Can't drop into that. Massling in the main. Oh, he's going to try and drop on this? Madman! Maru trying to drop into 60 Zerglings, 3 spores and a queen. Realizes that that desperate maneuver is not going to be it. Maru is really just, he's got a big army supply, man. He's ahead in that army supply. The problem is that Reynor has money and he has so many banelings that do not care about army supply because they are incredibly supply efficient. The queen's here on the north, and mass transfuse plus lurkers equals there's no way, mate. You can't go into that. He's going to try and drop the main. The lings are still there. He's like, God damn it, Reynor, don't you ever F2. Reynor's like, heck no, man. Shoots down a full medevac. Maru's got to tap out. He threw the kitchen sink at Reynor there in that game. But this time around, Reynor managed to hold on, stabilize, and the quicker Hydra is doing very well versus this Widowmine style. All right, guys, let's go. We got Kaisi Gaming's Reynor in the top left side of the map. Striking back in this series and playing against Maru in the top right. Now, Maru's been hitting you with 2 base pushes. You're scared. You're afraid. But at this point, Reynor needs to realize something, and that is something that is very obvious to me. And that is the fact that you're playing Stargazers, and Maru's going to turtle like no tomorrow. He's going CC first already. And then he's going to take a third on location in here. I mean, he might even play mech. CC first into like double port BC is what I personally want to see. I don't think Maru would do that in a game 5, but I feel like mech would be pretty sick if you get a free third and then you get a fourth. And we know that Reynor kind of sucks versus mech past the early mid game, right? So it's kind of I mean, not sucks. Obviously, I'm being a bit facetious there. Obviously, Reynor's one of the best players in the world. It's just compared to his other attributes and at this level of play, yeah, he's not good at breaking Maru in the late game. Now, Maru doesn't have to play mech. He could just play bio, right? And just go into ghost. And I think Reynor struggles against that very hard as well. So either way, it's going to be hard to break Maru on 3 bases and then 4 bases and then even the 5th base. You know, you don't get that many bases to take advantage of because there's only one middle base that you get favored over the Terran that's turtling. Maybe you can move forward and mine this base out really early. If Maru goes full turtle mode, that's actually a tactic that Reynor should utilize. But you guys know I've been shouting at Reynor about how, hey, if your opponent swaps to turtle mode, transfer all your workers to these forward bases. I've been shouting at pretty much every pro gamer I cast. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Like, there's a common meta thing for the last 1.5, 2 years of StarCraft where players don't just play a bit defensively, but you know that they're not going to move out for the next 5 minutes. Someone transitioning to ghosts and mass command centers. They don't make any attack for the next 5 to 8 minutes. That's enough time to take this base, transfer 22 workers to it, and mine out a lot of the resources on that base. It's actually something you should always be doing. It's one of the most efficient ways to damage a turtling player. So that's something I'm going to rant about now, so I don't have to rant about it later when more interesting things are happening. Oh, this is a great build. Reynor's going Overlord speed, so he skips Ling speed. He says, hey, I'm going to go OV speed. I'm playing Maru. He's going to do weird stuff. I gotta try to do that. Now, looks like a lot of gas banking up. He's got a third gas. Oh, third gas, BC for sure. Is it 2-port? Guys, he very well could play 2-port. Why else would he play 3 gas? I guess the third gas might speed up the first BC slightly, but knowing Maru, he likes 3 CC. Maybe he will play 2-port. Oh, 2-port BC is a build that Gumiho beat Serral with at Home Story Cup. And it's a kind of awkward build if you can't scout it. However, Reynor's going Overlord speed, so he's going to see everything that's coming no matter what. Third base is going up, almost finished here for Reynor. He's getting lots of queens. Creep tumor is starting to spread out as well. He's got 1 tumor in the main, which is very important here because you want to spread that all the way down to the edges so you can see everything going on. Overlord comes in, Marines push it back. And of course, he's coming in from both sides. Maru delaying his fusion core by a few seconds here. The Overlords are like, not seeing it right away. Okay. Now, if you see this as Reynor, you'd want to go for a lair immediately. He hasn't seen the back of the main base yet, so I think Maru's going to get both Overlord kills. So that's what's really like potentially with the Viking as well, right? This Overlord will see what's up. He should run that Overlord all the way home, should Reynor. Reynor sees the Fusion Core and then gets out. The Vikings chasing him, though. He doesn't get out. So he's going to lose this Overlord for sure. Obviously, Vikings a lot faster even than a Speed Overlord. The other Overlord just chilling. Reynor should be running that all the way to the corner or even down to this corner. Oh, Hellions dive in. Whoa, sorry, guys. I didn't catch it. Oh, my God. I was not expecting the Hellion dive. But remember, he skipped Link Speed. He loses 5 workers. 5 workers for 4 Hellions. He loses an Overlord. And he's distracted, which means he loses another Overlord. Great Hellion dive for Maru. Maru gets a bunch of workers, slows Reynor's opening down behind this second star. He's committing. He's committing to the second starport. Oh my God, I can't believe I called it. Oh, it's so sick. I mean, this is actually kind of a dumb build, but kind of glorious. Wait. Reynor saw the Fusion Core and he's not building a lair? It's a tactical error. I think he's thinking that Maru canceled the Fusion Core because it got spotted. He's going to come in and see 2 starports and feel very silly that he delayed the lair this long. Oh, this is a very hard build to stop, man. If you don't have a Spire up in Corruptors, Viking and the Marines will hunt this Overlord down as well. This is a lot of damage. Okay, Reynor, what's the play? I mean, he's got to get a 4th hatchery up, but what's he going to do in the meantime? He's already going Roachhorn because he's expecting mech. He loses that Overlord. He loses the Zergling on the tower. Maru's going to take his... wait, is this a 4th command center? 3rd CC in the wall, 4th command center in the back. Oh my God, it's 2-port BC into just mass command centers. Oh my Lord, yep, and then the factories. 4th command center before 2nd factory. Oh my Lord, that's some Chad greed, that is. I mean, it makes sense. This map's hard to attack on. He knows that he's done a bit of damage with the Hellions. The BCs are going to pin him back. Now, what I wonder is, why is there no Yamato? And does he build a 3rd and 4th BC? Or does he just stop at 2 BCs and change it up? Okay, Yamato does start up. I think he just forgot it for a little bit, maybe a little bit later. 30 seconds later than he'd like to. Obviously, the 4th command center is pretty important. He wants to have a very explosive, greedy follow-up. And he's going to teleport in with 2 BCs at once. If he teleports now, he'll easily have that cool down in time for the Spire. Spire finishes right when it cools down, but he's actually going to fly across. He's playing very cautious. Okay, that makes sense. So Maru doesn't know that the lair got so delayed. He probably thinks the Spire's almost finished. And if he teleports in, then he won't be able to teleport out. So he doesn't actually realize that. Got the Overseer moving down the south side as well. And we've got factories coming up 2 and 3. Hellions are going to take out the creep tumors down there as well. Overseer does come in towards the main base. He's going to see that it is a mech transition behind it. Those BCs entering the main. 3 more queens are on the way. There's 10 queens up. 10 queens should be more than a match for 2 battlecruisers. It's going to move right underneath. Of course, they do a lot of damage, so you do have to drop quite a few transfuses. But already putting a BC down to half-life. Very effective. And we'll be adding Corruptors after that. 4th base is only now starting, though. So you see, Reynor sees a 4th command center up. Oh, he doesn't see this one down here. And they're all orbitals. He's not even building a planetary on the front. He goes for an engineering bay, double armory, and he's starting tanks and Hellion production. Wow, okay, that's kind of gross, man. The amount of greed that he's doing, I think Reynor really wishes he was at 90 plus workers on 5 bases by now. He could have gotten away with it. This is an ultimate greed build. It's such a change of pace. Maru has conditioned Reynor to expect aggression and weirdness and craziness and these 3 racks and 5 racks pushes. And now in this game, he plays it completely differently. He's just like, no. This game, I'm going to take the fastest 4th command center of all time. I'm going to do the craziest greedy build, which really suits the map as well. And have fun dealing with 4 battlecruisers with Yamato. And then just a big old mech follow-up, which I know you struggle against. Maru's going to add ghosts in maybe even before he's maxed. I imagine he gets at least 2 more factories. One probably with a reactor, one with a tech lab. And then he'll go for Barracks Ghost transition after that. So that's going to be really interesting to see because Ghost Mech is what he beat Serral with at Katowice. The one game he did it versus Serral, he smashed him with it. He almost beat Raynor from half the supply on Berlingrad with Ghost Mech. He almost fought his way back in that game. And Reynor had maybe 20,000 more resources than him to just throw at him any way he wanted. And Maru was defending with like tanks and ghosts like an absolute beast. Now there's 14 Corruptors out. That should be more than enough to deal with the 4 BCs, but this is where the Battlecruiser tax comes in. They are simply going to Yamato the Corruptors and then teleport away, but he's distracted. Can the Corruptors get him while he's looking elsewhere? Oh, he does focus fire, but Maru just teleports one of them home. So he only gets 3 Corruptors there, but still teleports them home. Nice, easy repair. Gets a bunch of drones, up to 14 workers killed. Reynor playing on a smaller economy, and he's playing Roach Corruptor. Now, the problem with Roach Corruptor is roaches are the spilt milk of Zerg. They are the thing that is going off quicker than you can look at it. You can see the bacteria growing. They are not going to be useful far into the future. Same with Corruptors. They're good for killing BCs. They're not good for much else. Luckily, there's no Cyclones out yet. There's only the BCs and one Viking, and he's going to be able to lure those over, but mass repair should be good. Oh, don't lose the BCs. A bit slow on the repair pool. Maru messing up here. Those SCVs should have been pulled way quicker. With the mass repair, though, I think he does. Oh, another BC goes down. Maru with a huge slip up here. Reynor getting a very necessary victory. Takes out the Viking and 2 of those BCs. Lowering the BC count means you don't need as many Corruptors in the sky. Not having as many Corruptors in the sky is key because it allows you to build more useful units that can trade with the opponent. I think on this map, in this situation, Reynor may need to go for 10 Swarm Hosts and a Nidus Worm because I don't think Roach Ravager is going to do it. There is, how many tanks? 6 tanks? 6 tanks, few Hellbats, and the BCs. This is going to be hard to break through. The Queens are very tanky, but they do not have Transfuse, remember. Oh, he's going to try and pee on the missile turrets. I don't think that's going to work out. Reynor looking like he's doing a bit of an all-in push right now. Remember, he is not comfortable playing late game. He starts a 5th base, but it's a bit of an afterthought. Infestation Pit goes down, also an afterthought. He's only got +1 range. The upgrades are looking very good for Maru. He will lose the siege tank. No! Reynor misses the biles on the tanks. Big mistake for him right there. Okay, Maru's maxed out almost. He's getting closer to it. He's got 4 BCs. He's building 2 more. Keeping that BC count high is key. He's getting mag field as well, which will help those Cyclones versus the Corruptors. The Hellbat tank going to do very well in this corner. Reynor cannot fight there. The biles damage the tank, but they do not take it down. These Queens no longer a very useful use of the supply. I can see why Reynor wants to kind of run in, drop some biles, heal his units. Drop some biles, heal his units. And he should just be biling and running away. Like, these Ravagers should be doing it. He's tanking as well with the Queens. So you can see that's a little bit better. Finally landing the biles actually on the tank rather than missing it. Roach Ravager's going to get another tank kill. These are good. This is a good thing for Reynor to do. Anything he can do to chip away at these units is going to be nice. Obviously, the units lost tab is bad for him, but he's taking the gold. And remember what I said, you should try to take that bottom right base as well. Problem is that Maru is already on 5 bases. Biles are good, but I don't think they're going to break through here. The Queens and the Corruptors trying to fight those BCs. The Corruptors unzip their fly. They're going to go for it. He needs to bile on the SCVs, and he does get rid of the planetary. But my god, the BC tax is real. He's lost so many Corruptors this game. And the BCs, there's 6 of them out. There's already 19 Corruptors that have gone down in this game. Reynor's very low on bank, unable to break this situation. And for him, I got to think he needs a drop. He needs a Nidus Worm. He needs to open this up with drones. He needs a different attack avenue. This map, you don't get a lot of attack avenues. It's kind of like playing Berlingrad. So unless you're willing to go straight to Broodlord late game and play it there, you're going to be in trouble. The Ghost Academy starts. He's got 4 barracks with tech labs. And no doubt, when Maru has a moment to breathe, he will add engineering bay upgrades for those ghosts as well. Right now, though, 2-2 upgrades are on the way. The Corruptors are going to come forward. Yamato plus Cyclones will make quick work of those. Oh, man, every Corruptor's gone. The front 2 tanks go down, but the Cyclones and the BCs, I don't even know if he can stop it right now. Reynor trying to siege Maru down. He is not finding the mark at all. Units lost tab is going to be disgusting. We've got to check it anyway. More than twice as efficient is Maru. 6,600 versus 14,000 resources lost. He's trying to bile down both the tanks and the BCs if possible. Gets 1 tank there. Not bad. He could definitely keep biling this from far away, but remember that Ravagers are 3 supply each. So in terms of the actual raw density of the power, 3 supply for a Ravager, it's 3 or 4 supply only for a siege tank, 3 supply for a Cyclone. So those units are simply way better for their supply than the Ravagers are. Corruptors continuing to think about doing some wee-wees. 7 battlecruisers. He's adding ship weapons. Engineering Bay is getting the armor for the Ghosts. Ghost production has started. The BCs are going to go south. And he's got 13 Corruptors. That loses to 7 BCs. So that's a huge problem for Reynor right now. He realizes, okay, the BCs are coming across the map. Corruptors are going to need to try and find them. He doesn't know where they are right now. Ravagers trying to fight those Cyclones. The Ling's good at dragging tank shots away. Does get rid of the front siege tank, but I don't know if these are ever efficient trades. BC is going to find the gold base. Uh-oh, Reynor's economy. It's in trouble right now. The Ravagers are going to run forward. He drops some biles, but the Ghosts land some big snipes on the Ravagers, and the BC striking the bottom. The army is moving south, but he's going to lose a lot of those drones and the hatchery. Maru could also Yamato quick enough. Does he Yamato? Oh, and he's going to Yamato and get out of there, I believe. No, he doesn't teleport. Ooh, did not teleport. He's willing to stand and fight. He loses one BC, but at this point, when you're killing 6-7 Corruptors, that's still an okay trade for Maru. Tanks are still in good positions, as are Hellions and Cyclones. A couple Bios land. They hit the tank. They do not kill it. BC's flying on the south side. There's not enough Corruptors to defend. He can't afford to lose any more economy. Reynor is in huge trouble right now. Guys, he cannot afford to lose more workers, but that's exactly what's happening. He's damaging the BCs, but the BCs are teleporting out of there. There is no armor upgrades for these Corruptors, so even though there's no attack upgrades finished yet for the BCs, they are still able to kill the Corruptors reasonably quickly. The Hive is now on the way for Reynor, and Reynor's in a huge bit of trouble. I don't know what he can do from here, because that gold base, I mean, he's got to retake that and try to mine it. He's also got to open this one up and start mining that base, but he's still stuck on what appears to be completely redundant tech in this situation on this map. The units lost tab, 10,000, 21,000, still more than twice in the favor of Maru. And this is an absolute disaster. 31 Corruptors have died for 3 battlecruisers this game. And I'll tell you what, guys, 10 Corruptors for each BC, not a good ratio. Now, when Maru moves out, this is where Reynor might get some opportunities to get some good fights, to land some biles, get some surrounds on the army, that sort of stuff. But the snipes are so scary. That's the problem is, by the time you throw a bile, his snipe will have gone off and the ghost will have stepped out of the way. That's just going to be the way it works with scans and with the range of these abilities and that sort of stuff. And there we go. Once again, more snipes going down. The Ravagers are just no match for this man. He doesn't have any Banelings. Oh, he lands some big biles on the bridge. Oh my god, heroic defensive biles is apparently going to be Reynor's one comeback card in this game. It looks like the Cyclones are locking onto the eggs, funnily enough. Corruptors are coming here. BC's going to do some Yamatos. Will he land some snipes? Oh my god. Oh my god. One BC falls for like 12 Corruptors. And every single snipe, every single Cyclone lockout is devastating here for Reynor. Reynor is just so far behind in this game. The early game went splendidly, and Maru able to just keep pumping these BCs out. They are enacting such a ridiculous tax upon the already strained Reynor. Nice fungal bile, gets a medevac, gets a few of the ghosts down. He's going to try to overwhelm the Corruptors with the mass transfuse spam from the Queens. Auto turrets coming down. There's Thors in the mix. A totally odd hodgepodge mix of units here for Maru, but it's exactly what he needs right now. Maru with a great push there, kills another one of Reynor's bases. Reynor, 74 workers, he's got the gold base going, the bottom left's going, that base is still going, but he's got to get that base and retake this one. Reynor's lost 29,700 for 14,800. It's getting closer to 2-1, so Reynor's closing the gap a tiny amount. Still overall feels like total crap. On a map where at most you get one more mining base than your opponent, ooh, it's not good. It's not good, dude. Units lost tab. 369 Zergs have died for 72 Terran units. We are going to dodge the famous moment. If you guys ever kill 420 units for only 69 of your own, that's when real magic has happened. Corruptors in the bottom side could get caught by both Cyclones. Actually, there's no Cyclones left, but the snipes are still absolutely amazing at killing these. Remember, the ghosts are only 2 supply units, and each one of those is way better than pretty much any of these Zerg units that cost 2 or 3 supply. Corruptor's going to pull back. The drone's pulling back from the gold base. He is at least mining out the back, so he can retake that one. 10 Corruptors there. 1 Infestor, 6 Queens, 17 Roaches, 4 more Corruptors are on the way. Up to 6 BCs with a 7th on the way. And I got to tell you, I've played this from Reynor's situation many times. I don't know if you guys have heard of a guy called Supernova, but if you guys ever want to hate StarCraft, try to match him on the ladder. He doesn't try to win, he just tries to mass battlecruisers while I'm pretty sure he's dragging his manhood back and forth across the keyboard, insulting you. It's really painful to play against. Once they get up the BCs and the mech and the ghosts, it's actually just one of the most disgusting things to play against. And obviously this all comes because Reynor was playing from not a great position, but you add to this, he doesn't have Vipers, he doesn't have Broodlords. He's got so much supply in Roach Ravager, which is appallingly bad at this stage of the game. It's not a good position to be in. More Yamatos landing on those Corruptors. I mean, right now, Reynor's up against the wall. He can't afford to lose another base. He's got to find a way to kill this. But 10 Corruptors versus 7 battlecruisers. The Thors, the Ghosts are annihilating him. The BCs are going to come forward. I don't know what Reynor can possibly do. Maybe going to try and use a Neural here. He lands a good fungal there. Oh, mass bile on the BCs! Whoa! What? Oh my god! He killed like 5 BCs there. Maru's supply just plummeted. He lost like at least 20-30 supply of battlecruisers. That was a sick fungal bile combo, but Maru's army behind it is still so much better than his despite that. He gets the Hail Mary hit, but it's so bloody late. One BC gets out on 1 hit point, another one dies. Reynor's clearing out the air army. Can he clear the ground as well? The problem is he doesn't really have much of a reinforce. The ghosts are sniping the infestors, the ravagers, the corruptors. The corruptors have to fly across the map and try to do PP. But I gotta say, guys, when you're in a war situation and your best strategy is I've got to do PP, you may be out of your depth. You maybe shouldn't be the commander of a futuristic alien mass, an arsenal of all sorts of bioweapons. But hey, he's gonna go for it anyway. The turrets are building. Maru knew this was coming. He's quickly gonna move on there. He does break the stream there. A little bit of a nervous man is Reynor. And I don't know what he's gonna do from here. He's got a Great Aspire. He's gonna go to Infested Broodlord Viper, but it's plan B, plan C. He's tried it before and had close games against Maru at Valencia, but it was not good enough. And you could see wait, did all the corruptors just... Did he just snipe every corruptor? Oh, no, they're in the back of the base. They went on the right side of the map. Sorry, guys. Purple on the edge of the map. Gets a BC there. That's pretty nice. He's killed 11 BCs, but dude, the ghosts, the Thors, making this a very expensive maneuver. Another BC is here, and another ghost. That BC's like, hey, buddy, do you want to play? And yet another corruptor goes down. Oh, very costly trade. You'll have to fly all the way to the edge of the map and then try to get out from there. The roaches and the lings are here as well, but Reynor completely broke down 20 army supply and using one of the lowest tier armies in the game. Maru here with Sergeant Chadhammer herself. She's just like, yeah, get her done. I'll 1v1 your entire base, you dirty zerg. She's pretty brave. If she gets the hatchery, that's actually ridiculous. Oh, she's gonna get it. One more shot, one more shot. If she doesn't change targets, if he targets it, it goes down. Oh no! Maru gave her orders to change targets. If he let her do the job, she could have killed the hatchery. Sergeant Chadhammer unable to do it. Oh, Fungal lands on the ghosts. Roaches coming forward. Roaches, Ravagers. Infestors pulling back. Drones trying to pull back. And oh, Maru's going to deny yet another base. Meanwhile, on the top, another 2 BCs. That's the killing blow. Even if he loses the gold base to the Corruptors, he's going to kill every drone up there. And he's going to get rid of this hatchery. Oh, what a splendid 2-pronged fork of doom here. And Reynor's the one who's saying, what the? To that fork maneuver. I like the way he pushes the front, splits the 2 BCs off. Reynor does get a counterattack down there, but he's just got no mining. The income is out of this world. It has been for most of this game. Way ahead is Maru. I think he really tricked Reynor with the opening. I don't know why Reynor took so long to build the lair. Maybe it was a mistake. I mean, he scouted the fusion core as early could be, but if you don't build the spire in the lair quick enough, it's very hard, and because of that, I think Reynor just took way too long to secure a 4th base early on. I think his strategy could have worked if he wasn't in such a bad spot, but now we just see a man that is pressed up against the wall. When you're building Zerglings versus a guy massing Ghost Hellbat, you know things have gone terribly, terribly wrong. Fungal comes out, EMP lands and cops the energy off almost all those infestors. The last stand, but oh my god, the snipes, the BC, teleport on the face, and Maru says, who the heck keeps on doubting me? What idiots keep betting against me when I'm playing against Raynor, mate? When the hell will you put some respect on my name? And he comes out with a 4 command center double starport BC opening in game 5 of a series. Lays it all on the line with what is a pretty risky build order, but it all pays off. Damn well played from Maru, plays the map, and Ghost mechs it up in map 5. GG, well played.